According to Delta State gazetted laws, there are only 5 ethnic groups in Delta: the Yorubas, the Igbos, the Ejos, the Shekiris, and the Isokos. There's no mention of Benin. There's no mention of Yorubas or also within Delta North.
Today, we are going to be looking at a review of the video I posted in bits on some of my social media platforms. This video shows the movements that culminated in the creation of the Midwestern states. And in the video, we saw very clearly how our brother, Dr. Michael Okpara, his wife, Chief Ogbonnaya, and so many other prominent Igbo people, including Chief Dennis Osadebe, who was even, according to history, a president of the Senate before the First Republic. If you see the chronology, you will see that after Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe comes Chief Dennis Osadebe. That was before October 1960. So, these Igbo people from the eastern parts of Igbo land joined forces with their brothers who are from the western parts of Igbo land to move on this epic journey, and I'm very grateful that it was documented. This is why it is very good to keep history. It is very good to make historical documentaries so that in future it can be referenced. Ya bụ ọbụna nwa bụ Chief Dennis Chukwudo Osadebe na Dr. Michael Okpara na ndị niile so n'iwe je ya bụ ije wee nweshe Midwestern Region. Ọbụna ememene wee n'ime nye nkiri nkatata ka ụmụ anyị ụfọdụ ndị dịdị Chineke tie anya welue ntị anyị mara ihe gbasara be mmiri si baa n'opi ụgbọgwụrụ. Ọ bụ na ụmụ anyị ndị ọnị na-ete nwone nye nkiri na-egosini wee ntọdịdị kene ntụka ịtụgba anyị na-ekwu maka na nwe na-ekpe ikpe ọgazu ejido abụba isu anya di wee na-agba n'edi afa. Ụfọdụ asụ na ọmake kwa ahụ n'ọba n'ụzọ. Ụfọdụ n'ime ụmụ anyị ndị ọ bụ na akpọga wegbo esi buni asị kpọdo afa waza asị amatenwu ihe ji gwa okwu ka ọ bụ yewe ndụmọdụ nke tata, mana Chukwu ya gozie ndị mee ya bụ nye nkiri o ji bụ na nke tata anyị enwe ike hụ nye anyị ji na-agbazinye ndị ọ bụ na aka apụgawa n'oke. If not for that video documentary of Chief Dennis Osadebe and his Igbo brother, Dr. Michael Okpara, who moved from Asaba, because that's where they first landed, from Asaba to Ogwashuku. From Ogwashuku, they moved to Abo. From Abo, they moved to Abraka. From Abraka, they moved to Ozoro. From Ozoro, they moved to Ugeli, to Warri, and then they moved to Bomadi, all in the quest to actualize the establishment of the Midwestern region. We have seen from that video that let me play some parts of the video again for you to see. Interestingly, in our mind, Dr. Michael Okpara was conferred with a chieftaincy title. Let's take a look at the clip.
The splitting up of Nigeria into 3 regions, an arrangement that denied the legitimate aspirations of the people of the Midwest, is ended. Now, a Midwest region has been created as a result of the plebiscite of July 1963. Campaigning for its establishment, Dr. Okpara, the Premier of the East, was greeted by Chief Dennis Osadebe, the leader of the Midwest State movement, when he arrived at Asaba. It was the beginning of a 12-day tour for the Premier, who was accompanied by Mrs. Okpara. The federal and all the regional legislatures had voted for the new region. It now remained to find out the wishes of the people themselves. At Ogwashu Uku, the crowds gathered to welcome the Premier. Dr. Obona was there. The Premier was to pay a sincere tribute to Chief Osadebe, speaking of him as a man who had done more than anybody else for the creation of the new state. He appealed to the people of the Midwest not to be complacent or adopt a negative attitude to the problem. The new state would be the fulfillment of a promise made by his party in 1959, he said. And then the Asaba women dancers entertained their visitors. On the following day at Abo, the people were excitedly awaiting the arrival of the Premier. He was to address a mass rally. Dr. Okpara is, of course, the national president of the NCNC, and his wish to see the new region created stems from a desire to achieve equal opportunities for all the peoples of Nigeria. Women of his party danced their way to the rally. Mrs. Anioma Okpara received a tremendous welcome, and so did Dr. Mbanogo, chairman of the East Working Committee, Dr. Obona, and Mrs. Janet Mokelu. It was at this rally that Dr. Okpara announced that there would be a general amnesty for all those people who had offended or victimized others during the struggle for the creation of the Midwest state. Their past political record would be forgotten. He said, what is wanted at the moment is a massive support for the new state, which will not be built on hatred, because we want love, peace, and harmony. And then the campaign party moved on by car to Abraka. At every place visited, the people gave them a sincere and traditional welcome. An address of welcome was read and then presented to the Premier. Dr. Okpara talked to the large crowd, pointing out the advantages which would come with the setting up of the new state. Mr. Yamsi, the NCNC leader from the north, was present as the premier appeals to everybody to vote in the plebiscite on July 13th. At Amai, there was another splendid welcome. Later, the people were to confer a chieftaincy on the premier before he drove on to Usoro. Here, it was students who welcomed the party. The creation of the new state would be particularly important to the younger people because the opportunities for them will be greatly increased. Next, to the Urobo division, where a rally was held in the Uwele Council Hall. It was to be another stirring meeting. The chairman of Nigerian Airways, Chief Dafe, was among the speakers, and the premier and members of the campaign party greeted the audience. The Honorable R. Okafor caused some amusement, and then came the main speech, the premier's. Again, he extolled the advantages of the new state, which will mean the setting up of a new regional parliament and the appointment of a governor. Mr. Mopugo Okoye was among the large crowd who heard Dr. Bona wind up the meeting. At Warri, it was the same story of joy and welcome. The Bende war dancers performed. Once again, Dr. Okpara spoke to the huge crowds. He was tireless in pressing the cause of the 2 million people who up till then had only a minority status. Dr. Okpara and his party then traveled by launch to Western Region. It was a brief but pleasant break in the intensive program of public meetings. At Pomade, people lined the banks to catch a glimpse of the Premier of the East. Everybody seemed to have turned out to greet him. Dr. Okpara told the people of Pomade that after the creation of the Midwest...
Welcome back. I hope you really enjoyed this documentary. It is good to keep record. It is indeed very good to keep record. Now the children of these parents, because the people in this video, I think by the ages of the people who saw there, majority of them who were even children will now be very old, because that was in early 1963. Majority of them are now very old. Their children or their grandchildren are now denying being Igbo. Even the ones that we know that are originally not Igbos but affiliated with the Igbo are now in a war of words against the Igbo people. On social media, you will see them insulting Igbo people. making all manner of denigratory remarks to demean the Igbo man and Igbo woman. A people who invested thoroughly their time, energy, and resources to see to the liberation of their brothers who were considered minority in the Western region. Today, what do we have? We have people whose names will be Ifeanyi Chukwu, Okechukwu, Nwachukwu, and they will tell you they are not Igbo people, and they don't want to have anything to do with Igbo people. What a sad and unfortunate situation. It is very painful. Although we have seen many of our brothers say, ignore them, remove your eye, leave them. It is not that simple to leave them alone. It is like a stain on our white cloth. It is a stain on our aquacha. It is very, very sad. But what do? Majority of them think, because of their lack of depth in history, that to be an Igbo man, you must have migrated from somewhere, no matter where it is. It has to be somewhere in the southeastern part of Nigeria. But that is not true. You must not have migrated from anywhere in the southeastern part of Nigeria to be Igbo. And the people who even migrated from western parts of Igbo land, instead of acclaiming that they are Igbo, they also have that wrong notion of thinking that because they did not migrate from anywhere in the eastern heartland, then they are not Igbo people. Example are the people in Iwuroha, the ones in Okpara, and some of them in Ikwere, who even up till this day have the prefixes Eze in their name, but they don't want to be associated with Igbo people. At best, they will say we had a language relationship. It is so unfortunate. It hurts. But what can we do? We have to forge ahead. And we have to also continue in our movement and our quest to break the boundaries imposed on us by the state. We have to continue breaking the barriers, the boundaries, the geographical boundaries and demarcations and divisions brought upon us intentionally by the Nigerian government. Because in April 1967, a publication was released by the then General Yakubu Gowon's government that if the East insists to go, that the core states will be created. What were the core states? Cross River State, Ogoja State, and then River State. He succeeded in creating Cross River State, succeeded in creating River State. He did not end up creating Ogoja State. What was the aim? To remove the major cities, to break the ranks of the Igbo speaking people. Now, River State was created. And then you can have Igbo people in River State now confidently telling you they are not Igbos. Now, some of the people who aligned with us, from whose place people like Philip Effiong came to fight with Biafra, you will now have people from Cross River State telling you they don't want anything to do with Igbo man, the Ibibios and the rest. You now have people in Enuan, Ika, Ukwane, Oshimili, who not only speak the Igbo language, practice other aspects of Igbo culture, will come out boldly, young people, confidently to tell you that they are not Igbo. But in our territory, because I am from Western Igbo land, you will have roads like Michael Okpara Road. The parliament in Benin today is Denis Osadebe building. The government house in Delta State is Denis Osadebe House. And there are other inland roads in most parts of the present day Delta State and Edo States that were named after Dr. Michael Okpara, because that was when the minority then of Western Region joined forces with their brothers in the Southeast and they got the Midwestern states. Why do you think that you must have migrated from the Eastern Heartland to be called an Igbo person? Why do you think so? Is it so historically? According to history, the origins of migrations of Igbo people is not definite, is not conclusive. So, there are Igbo people everywhere you can think of. And it must not be traced. Their migration history must not be traced to a particular place before they can fully be considered Igbo. It must not be traced to a particular place before they can fully be considered Igbo. I'm trying to read origins of Igbo people according to historical publications. Very, very interestingly, we have one of the publications of on Igbo people by our brother Adiele Afikpo. It says, and I quote, "The origin of the Igbo people have been subject of speculations, and this is yet to be concluded." That is according to Adiele Afikpo. In the book published by our sister and dear wife, Elizabeth Isichei, one of her sources told her to write that the Igbo people did not migrate from anywhere, and interestingly asked her to write it down. I'm trying to look for more sources to back up what I have just told you. Now, Afikpo affirms that the antiquity of the Igbo people on logistic evidence probably goes back to 5,000 or 6,000 years. This buttresses also the claims of an elderly man whom Isichei quoted as saying in an interview, "We do not come from anywhere, and anyone who says we come from anywhere is a liar. Write it down." Supporters of this hypothesis claim that the Igbo, according to historical records and oral medial traditions, never lived anywhere outside the present Igbo homeland. Now, I do not agree with this, but it is history. I believe, I know for a fact, according to history, that there are Igbos in Ile-Ife. There were Igbos in Ile-Ife from where my own ancestor, Ezemu of Ubunuku Kingdom, and his 4 siblings who bore Igbo names migrated. Why is it that when these Igbo-speaking people intend to migrate, they migrate homewards towards Eastern Heartland? Why is it that when Akalaka intended to leave the then Anidu, he moved towards Eastern Heartland? Why is it that when Ekpeye, Okiki, and the rest intended to move, they moved towards the Eastern Heartland? Why is it that when people like Ezechima had need to move from Anidu, he moved towards the Eastern Heartland? Wetu amadu n'ilo odu ishunu no. Wetu amadu n'ilo odu ishunu no. That is the simple historical explanation of all these migrations. So, why the fear? Some people are of the notion that they want to come and easternize us. They want to annex us into the southeast. Really? Do you really think the southeast is poor? The southeast is laden with its own God-given natural resources. Yes. Part of the reasons why this platform is not monetized on Facebook and some other social media platforms is because I don't want it to look like we are doing this for financial benefits. We are doing this to set records straight. And if we are monetized, somebody will say, you are just creating content. This is content, but not for financial gain. It is content meant to educate you about your historical origins. There are so many cultural practices of Enuane people, of Ikwere people, and some people don't know that Enuane remains like a subset of the union set called Igbo. The universal set called Igbo contains a subset known as Enuane. Somebody tried to educate me yesterday wrongly that Enuane is a dialect of Igbo language, and I laughed. Even in Enuane, there are sub-dialects. In those sub-dialects, there are still sub-dialects. That is how vast the Igbo language is. And it is said that ni Igbo asu n'onu n'onu. Igbo asu n'onu n'onu. In Ubulu, for instance, I can tell when somebody from Ubuluku is speaking. That is a sub-dialect of the Enuane dialect. I can tell when somebody from Ubulokiti is speaking, and I can also tell when somebody from Ubolono is speaking. In all this, I can tell in Ubuluku when somebody from Ugba and Idumisa is speaking, and when somebody from Isho or Udo is speaking. That is how vast the Igbo language is. Enuane is Enuane, distinct but still Igbo language, Igbo dialect. Ikwere is Ikwere, distinct on its own, but still a dialect of the Igbo language. Eza is Eza, distinct but still a sub-dialect of the Igbo language. Owere is Owere, distinct on its own. Ashemadwo is on its own, distinct. When you speak it, somebody will say, Owere. So, is every other Igbo dialect, including Eka, distinct on its own, but a sub-dialect of the Igbo language. Because the major elements of this dialect that you are thinking about, that you talk about, are found in the Igbo language. Words, important keywords in these dialects are also retained in the Igbo, other Igbo dialects. It doesn't make it inferior. It doesn't make any of them superior. It is just our language. Yes, a lot of people will tell you that it is not only language that confers identity. That is very true. But if this language is the language you use for your egofo, it is the language you use for your traditional songs and festival, then it is your traditional language, and then it can confer identity on you. Yes, that is when language confers identity. If it is your traditional language, you did not borrow it from anywhere. That is the language of your ancestors, the language of your own parents, and then your own language. Even your names are in that language, then it is your language. If that language is Igbo, then you are Igbo. It is just up to you to trace your origin. The history of Igbo people is so deep that we are still even trying to know where did Igbos migrate from. Scholars have concluded, some section of scholars anyway, that Igbos did not migrate from anywhere to their present abode in the Eastern Heartland and other parts of Western Igbo. As long as the eponymous founder of your community is not said to have come from somewhere else other than the Eastern Heartland, and in that Eastern Heartland, they don't have any history of migrations from anywhere. My dear, oyi Igbo ka Igbo, ifele adịna, otebodo nwa Igbo adị eme ọhụma, ọ na-eme ifele bụ wesi n'Igbo Igbo. Mana nke na Igbo na afa dị mma kwa eso anụ ọfịa aza, afa dị ka enyi, afa dị ka awọlụ. Igbo bụ enyi, Igbo bụ awọlụ, Igbo bụ agwụ. So, aside from language, there are other cultural practices that confer identity on you as an Igbo person. Ọ bụ na unu aga ọjị na awa ọjị, wele na ekpe ekpele, wele na aga ọfọ, wele na eme ọgbụgba ndụ, mara na Igbo Igbo. Ya wọchara akịta. Ọ bụ na ebe isi bunyi, unu azụ afịa anọ azụ na anyị Igbo, ya bụ Eke, Orie, Afọ na Nkwọ, mari Igbo Igbo. O nwekwa ike na-azụ abe ndị ọzọ, mana o nwere nye ọpụcha na enwe, o nwere nye eji elori, maka na nye esi ka nye bụrụ na ka ọ bụ na. Ọ bụrụ na ememe otu ọgbọ, ya bụ nkwa akpọ age grade system, marịkwa Igbo Igbo. Maka na Igbo bụ nye ememe otu ọgbọ. The Igbo traditional political system designates roles to the youths. In fact, in the traditional political system, this age grade youth system, the peer group, were the police of the traditional political society. Same way, the Igbo traditional political system gives roles to the women as Umuada and Omu, and then to the men who lead the lineage by gerontocracy. The Ada also leads her own women group by gerontocracy. Even in this age grade group system, they are also led by gerontocracy because it is usually the oldest of the age grade that leads them. So the Igbo traditional political system is so well structured that there are things you will do that will let us know that you are our brother, whether you admit it or not. This I'm having in my hand is called Otoluaka. To some who are Dibias, Odu. To some who are Ezes, Otoluaka or Ofo. It is a traditional symbol of authority, although mine is ceremonial because of my cultural platform. Those who wield it know its power. It is more powerful to hold an Ofo than to hold a government-issued staff of office. This is the traditional staff of office. Historically, you only inherit this. You don't buy it in the market. If your community has Ofo as its traditional symbol of authority, with names of its citizens like Ejiofo, Ofo Edu, Ofo Oma, Ofo Kansi, and the rest, you are Igbo. There are no two ways about it. All the Igbo cultural practices are unique. Some are shared, while some are distinct. As I will always say, in our Eastern Igbo dialect, that Odibende na Adigibende, Ogirishi na Abamme. A cultural practice of one people that is not found in another people is usually disgusting. There are people that eat Edi in Igbo land. There are people who do not even touch Edi, including my community. There are people who revere Eke. Some worship it because it is their totem animal, while there are others to whom Eke is meat, including my community. To us, Eke is meat. To some, it is revered. There are people who do not eat the West African giant rat, the one you call Ewi. people like Ibuzo, people like Nnewi. In my community, it is meat. There are some subgroups in my community who do not eat guinea fowl. To us, it is meat. That is the beauty and diversity of the Igbo culture. It does not alienate any group that will make you say, because I am not doing this and they are doing it, then I am not Igbo. Yesterday, somebody told me the name of the eponymous founder is Aklaka, not Akaraka. Therefore, it is not Igbo. And I laughed. I told him, in my own dialect of Igbo language, it is Aklaka, not Akaraka. And in Anambra and some other areas of Igbo land, it is Akalaka, not Akaraka. Igbo asununu. That R can become L, and the L can become R. In Enwani, my F can become H, my S can become H. I can say Asia for market if I am from Ogwashuku, while another person will say Afia for market if that person is from Obolo clan. This is the beauty and diversity of the Igbo language. Thank you once again for joining Anioma Cultural Forum. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Kindly give us a thumbs up, share our video if you can, and I know you can. Give us super thanks. Thanks for supporting Anioma Cultural Forum. See you in our next video.